XCR 375 H&H mag, and tonight I'm going to do a quick video about gun training and going to a reputable school. A friend of mine sent me an article with a link to a YouTube video. I'm not even going to mention the YouTube video. Apparently, a pastor is training his congregation on how to shoot guns, and everything that I saw in this video just makes me cringe. Um, just bad advice that he's giving out, and so forth. Guys, when you buy a gun, and even the old timers that have been around guns and been shooting and so forth, um, go get trained, go get refreshed on your skills, because training constantly gets revamped, new techniques come out, and all these instructors that are from reputable school, Gunsight, Larry Vickers, Front Sight, and stuff like that, um, Homeland Personal Protection, or ccwmaggie.com, they are all excellent instructors. They have taken techniques, they know what works, what doesn't work, and they've incorporated into their teaching. And what they're doing is they're teaching stuff that's safe, realistic, and what you might encounter on the street. So let me readjust this so you guys see my big old pumpkin head. And just go get trained by a reputable school. NRA has great firearms courses for the beginners and so forth, and they do have intermediate stuff also. I'm an NRA instructor, certified, and also a certified range safety officer. And some of the stuff that I've seen on these ranges from some of these instructors, bad instructors, make me cringe. Go to a reputable school, read the reviews, set all the bullshit aside. Like, oh, I didn't like the way this particular range master or this particular master instructor was teaching this, and you always get the pissing contests. And for those people that go there with a closed mind, you're not going to get anything out of it. I've gone through a lot of firearms training schools myself. I was trained in law enforcement. I was trained professionally on tactics and everything like that. So when I see some of these videos out there, I cringe. When I see people trying to teach on how to take a weapon away from a shooter and how to retain your weapon and so forth. It takes tons of hours to learn how to do that correctly, and to learn how to take a weapon away and how to retain a weapon properly, and what your reaction is going to be. It becomes muscle memory, and you don't even think about it anymore when something like that happens. So go to a reputable school, take the classes they offer, and so forth. Like I said, Gunsight, Larry Vickers, Front Sight, NRA. Go. Call these places up, read up on the reviews, set the bullshit aside of people in their little pissing contests. Oh, I didn't particularly like the way this instructor taught the class. It's not the right technique. Well, you know what? It's what's comfortable for the student. And I've seen that go from, like, you have to shoot this way, isosceles. You have to shoot the Weaver stance. I've seen it transform to where what is comfortable for the student and what works for them. Do they have a general good stance? Are they stable? That's the key word. Are they stable? Yes. Okay. It's what's comfortable. Certain people say, oh, Glocks are the best. Certain people say Smith & Wessons are the best. Certain people say Berettas are the best. Well, you know what? It's whatever is comfortable in the student's hand is the best for that student. Okay? Myself, Glocks, reliable, good weapon. I don't like them because they don't feel comfortable in my hand. It's not comfortable in my hand. For my CCW and for my CCW carry weapon, I tried the Glock 19, the Glock 43 to fit in my hand. It did not feel good. So the guy at the gun store said, "Why don't you try the Smith & Wesson 9 Shield?" I've never been a big fan of Smith & Wessons, just because some of the crap that they pulled, you know, back in the 90s, under the Clinton administration, I held a grudge against them. Well, I picked up the 9 Shield. It fit like a glove. Still don't forgive them for the crap that they did back in the 90s and agreeing with Clinton on certain shit. So, but it fit. That's more of a pride bullshit type of thing. So I set that aside and just kind of went from there. So do your research, find a reputable school, and just go from there. And be wary of people that are trying to teach you a certain way. If it doesn't feel right or you feel all weird and uncomfortable and everything, it's probably not right. Go get professional training. Okay? NRA teaches a very good basic pistol, rifle, and shotgun course. Okay? It's going to get you your basics, hence the word basics. And over time, you're going to develop your own techniques and what works best for you as a shooter if you stick with it. If you know people that are in the military, talk to them. Okay? They have a lot of hours, especially the guys that are infantry. They have a lot of hours on their weapons. And talk to them. Learn from them and stuff. So there's a big difference between personal defense shooting and a big difference between the precision pistol shooting and rifle and so forth type of shooting. Big difference. Precision shooting, I want nice tight groups like that. I want to blow the center out of the target. Defensive shooting is kind of like, oh shit, stuff has hit the fan, and I just got to get, solid hits on the chest cavity. Make sure I get hits inside of there to do as much damage as possible. Put as many holes into the bad guy as possible so he bleeds out. And also remember that a pistol round is not as powerful as a rifle round. A pistol round, generally, for the most part, 99% of the time, is really not a good stopping round. Okay? When you have a little tiny bullet, probably about the size of my fingernail there, that's supposed to stop, and there's not a whole lot of power behind it. Front Sight has a lot of videos of where the bad guy is taking multiple hits and he's still up, and the good guy gets taken out. So one round from a handgun may not do it. Most likely it will not do it if you hit him in the chest cavity. It's not like in the movies. Your average person's going to have a 9mm, 40, 45, 38, your standard handgun rounds. So, as one of my firearms instructors told me, so if you get into he's like, if you're going to go to a gunfight, bring a rifle. Take the person out from a distance if you're going to get into a gunfight. So, and that's what he said, and I have to agree. If the other person brings a handgun to the gunfight, you bring a 30-06 and you take them out at 200 yards. So, anyway, that was me quoting him. But, yeah, pistol round, chest cavity. And another thing you have to also take into consideration, too, is where you hit the person. My most recent firearms instructor brought a very good point. The human body is not flat. It's more shaped like that. So you kind of have to take into consideration, too, where am I going to have to hit this person to get a vital? If I hit him at an angle like this, it might, especially if the person's fat, like me, it might just go right through the fat and go out the other side. So I might have to angle like this. So you can go in at an angle. If he's directly in front of me, it's going to be a straight shot. I mean, a human person is not flat like paper. So just remember that. Kind of what a human person looks like. So, interesting point. So the main takeaway for this video is go get trained. New or old shooters. Go brush up your skills. Have an open mind, especially for your old grumpy shooters out there like myself. Keep an open mind. Learn. We shoot at paper so much that we don't take into consideration that the human body is not flat. It's more like that. More of an oblong egg type of thing when you look down on a person. So, or when you look at them on a side, they look like this. So take that into consideration too. So go get trained from a reputable school. And ask these range masters and instructors what their credentials are. Taking a basic course, are they NRA certified? Taking an advanced course, ask them for their credentials. You're paying for it. You better know. So there's just so much bad advice out there on the internet that it's going to get people killed. It's going to get people killed if you follow a lot of it. It makes me cringe. So ask for their credentials. And if they say they are NRA certified, you can go on the NRA website and you can verify their certifications. NRA allows that because they take that stuff very seriously, where if somebody is posing as an NRA instructor and they're not, they'll go after them. Litigation-wise, criminally-wise, they will go after them. Make sure the NRA instructor's certification is up to date. Certification expires. Mine expires next year, November 2016. I have to go renew it. I have to go take a refresher course for my instruction class as an instructor. So it's good. Just verify the courses. Verify the instructors. If you think the person is like, if you have a tinge of that this person is bullshitting you, he is probably bullshitting you. Go check it out. Call up other firearms instructor classes and academies and so forth and say, hey, this instructor, you don't need to say the instructor's name and just say, hey, I was told this. Does this make sense to you? I'm not understanding it. And if it's a reputable school, they'll say, well, that doesn't make too much sense. You probably want to go to a different school. Or, yeah, that's an older technique, but we don't teach that anymore. That's legitimate, okay? It just means that school's probably not up to date on a lot of the newer techniques out there. So when I'm precision shooting, I shoot in a Weaver stance. Some people shoot in an isosceles stance. When it comes to personal defense, it's a lot of movement, a lot of actions, and you have to repeat the actions so it becomes muscle memory. So totally two different types of standards of shooting. So anyway, just do your homework. XCR 375 out.